My name is Femi Oladehin. I'm a chartered accountant and investment banker. I will be taking the class on finance for small businesses. This is Dang Masterclass. It's the dilemma of the entrepreneur. It's always, should I focus on cash or should I focus on profits? And we started earlier. There are businesses that are profitable but have negative cash flows. In fact, people if we go really high level, people in the oil and gas industry, for example, usually for the first few years of an oil and gas business, you're going to be very heavy on expenditure on cash, and you might be making profits, but a lot of that profit is being eaten up by your investing activities. However, the big difference between profits and cash is usually evident in your cash flow statement. In your cash flow statement, it tells you how much of your profit is still with your customers. So if I've bought 500 pieces of hair from you, and you've done your numbers, 500 times 300 is 15,000, right? I've made 15,000 naira profit. You better be careful that you don't go and spend that 15,000 naira, because until I pay you not just the 15,000 naira, but the entire revenues of that transaction that I've done, that profit has not crystallized. And that is where the big thing that entrepreneurs must always remember, that sales is not equal to cash. Sales is just goods going out of your room. Now, except you're running a 100% cash and carry business, the tendency is that at each point in time, you would have people owing you for things that they bought from you. And the truth is that if you are also a very disciplined person, you must be owing your suppliers as well. We call it spontaneous financing. So when I come to you and I buy 20 pieces of hair from you, and I go home, but I've not paid you, what you've effectively become is a funding source for my business. I can go and use your money to trade for the next 3 months if I'm not due to pay you back for 3 months. And that is very important for businesses. As much as possible, we say maximize your creditors, minimize your debtors. In that way, you're using other people's monies to run your business and to keep your business running. But you must always have your eyes on the ball to remember that profit is not equal to cash. And cash also is not equal to profit. So a business owner who, for example, gets paid in advance of him supplying products can easily run into trouble. You're a contractor. Lagos State has given you a contract to supply goods. They've given you an advance payment. And the first thing you go and do is buy a car or marry a second wife, which is what people used to do in those days. Then they forget that, 6 months down the line, Lagos State is like, well, it's time to deliver. But guess what? He spent the money because he thought that the cash in the bank was profit. You must find a balance between both of them. And that's very important for an entrepreneur. What you should focus on as an entrepreneur is how much of your profits do you require to reinvest in your business on a go-forward basis. In advanced finance, we call something a dividend policy. Your dividend policy should always be driven about how much of your profits do you require to reinvest in the business. So as an entrepreneur, I would like to reinvest a percentage of my profits in the business. What is that percentage? That percentage should be driven by how much of the business how much of your profits is required for you to run your business. So when we talked about the budget and we talked about the financing decision, you must always make the connection between the cost of your financing and the opportunity cost of you taking money out of the business. So think about it this way. You have gone and borrowed money from a bank and you are paying off interest, you're paying off the principal and interest to that bank. The opportunity cost is the money that you should have paid yourself as a salary, you pay that money to the bank. so that you can reduce your obligations to the bank on a long-term basis. So the reality is the amount of your profits you should pay yourself is a function of how much discipline you have as a person to be able to ensure that let my business grow to the point where my dividends can take care of my lifestyle, as against let me grab as much as I can grab now, and the business dies. So if you look at businesses that have become conglomerates, that have become, multinationals, the only reason why they became multinationals is because the owners had the discipline to keep the capital in the business during the early years. So if you take a Dangote, for example, he could easily have been paying all the profits to himself before and never had monies for reinvestment. So when he wanted to go big and a bank asked him, how much do you have? If he said, well, sorry, I've paid everything to myself, the tendency is he would never have gotten bank financing. So think about it from the perspective that if you have a long-term view for your business and you want to grow that business to the point where you can go and sell it off to someone else, or you can spin it up and go and list it on an exchange, the less you pay yourself, the better for you in the long term.
That 5 minutes madness only you can understand. Visit myspectre.com to get your Spectre experience. Spectre, loans in 5 minutes.
Employees, as you know, in my firm, we have a saying that our most valuable asset walks out of our doors every day. They come in at 8 o'clock and they leave at 6 p.m. Every other thing else is fluff. But the truth is, you must also always find a balance between the cash outflows of your business and the needs of your business. So yes, you must pay your employees well. You must pay them well enough to ensure that they are motivated to work with you. But you must also not pay them so much that they are not motivated to do the extra. So you must find a balance. However, this is one thing that's very clear. Employees want to be treated fairly. Employees don't want to see you driving the flashiest car in Lagos whilst they cannot meet their own personal obligations. You must find a balance between being fair to your employees and maintaining cash flows, as well as the lifestyle that you live. So think about it from this way. If your employees realize that our boss is frugal and doesn't spend money on frivolities, the tendency is that when you tell them that, look, these are difficult times, we need to manage, they can see the examples that you are laying. And the tendency is that their resistance would be less than if they saw you living large and then asking other people to tighten their belts. And I think that's part of the emotional intelligence required towards being a leader. At this point, it's about leadership. Provide leadership, allow the people working for you to understand that our boss is building a business, and if that business survives and is sustained, we benefit in the long term, because as the business grows, your employees must benefit from the growth of your business. So there's no hard and fast rule on how much you should pay your employees, but make sure you pay them for what they're worth. You know, there's a religious saying that a laborer deserves his wages. Make sure that your employees are paid. As a business, you must always advertise. You must always advertise. And the reasons why you must always advertise are: one, Not everyone knows what you do. The more advertising you do, the more you expand your market. That's one. Secondly, every day your competition gets smarter. So if your competition is advertising and you stop advertising, very quickly you will fall off the radar and your business will die. Third, and probably more important reason why you must advertise is that advertising also ensures that you internally continue to live the qualities of whatever it is you're advertising. If you're advertising the best hair products in Nigeria, if you keep saying it to yourself, there is the reverse effect that you keep investing in ensuring that you are the best hair products in Nigeria. Because if you don't do that, your advertising becomes a lie and it becomes ineffective. So it's extremely important that you continue to advertise. Now, how much of your revenues should you put into advertising? Again, it's about the scientific process of being able to quantify the difference that advertising makes to your business. So for people who use Instagram, for example, as an advertising platform, you can count the number of people that call you simply because they found an advert that you've put on Instagram. And you must be able to measure the effect. If you're running a program or if you're running a promotion, for example, you must be able to scientifically measure the impact that that promotion has had on your business. Because otherwise, you can be throwing good money away as well. Imagine a brewery that's advertising in a monk or in a monastery where they don't even drink alcohol. You realize that is money down the drain. Or you're advertising mobile phones in a place that has no electricity, which means they can't even charge the phones. You need to think about it that your advert spend must be targeted at the market that you're trying to attract. So we say from a finance point of view that your advertising must be strategic. You must be targeting the right people using the right platform. I use myself as an example. If you're trying to reach me as a customer and you go and get a radio advert, well, you will try for the next 5 years. I cannot remember the last time I listened to radio or watched television. You must understand the platform that the people that you're trying to address. You must understand the platform where they consume their information and target your advertising spend. So it's not just about spending advertising money for the sake of it. It's about spending advertising money from a very strategic and clear point of view. And if your spend is right and your medium is right, you will get value for your money.